Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to another episode of Unite with Food and Play. So, today's dish is the Swedish meatballs. Okay, so meatballs, you know, are as quintessential as Swedish as it gets. You know, you've got your Italian meatballs. They tend to be like, you know, in like some kind of orange tangy sauce. And then you've got your Swedish meatballs that are usually, you know, cooked in like a rich creamy gravy, usually made with beef or, you know, like bone broth and like with some kind of sour cream. So yeah, usually like really thick and heavy. Should look like a, I'd say like a peppercorn sauce kind of thing. So yes, we're going to do two recipes today. So we've got, we're going to do the meatballs first, and then we're going to throw the sauce in at the end. Now, so this is quite a big recipe. Well, it's just loads of individual ingredients taken on and off the stove, and then, you know, just little things like cubed bread, and obviously you've got your beef stock, and then obviously sauce, two different lots of meat, pork and beef. But yeah. I'm going to try and do it as clear and as slowly as possible for you guys to try at home. But yeah, let's give it a go and let's crack on. Okay, here we go then guys, quite a big recipe, no going back. So, grate half an onion, so get yourself a little grater, grate half an onion, about that size, or, you know, if you've got a super sharp knife, very important, sharpen your knife. You can always cut them super fine, you know, chopped really small. Next, 1 tablespoon of butter. We're going to melt that into a nice deep pan, sort of about this size. Just like so. Okay, so I'm just going to melt all that. Shouldn't take too long. And yeah, I got a cheese. Obviously, I haven't got a cheese grater. I've got like a really tiny one, you know, like for nutmeg and stuff like that, and it won't do anything. So yeah, if you've got a good grater, use a grater. If not, just get yourself a sharp knife, chop super fine. Get this butter melting a bit quicker. Butter wise, use any kind of butter, whether it's is it Lurpak or Flora or Utterly Butterly or something, or is that margarine, don't know. Butter's butter to me, but I'm using President butter. Yeah, good guy he is. Unsalted as well, so if that's any consolation. So right, butter's nice and melted. Now we're just going to put in the onion, half a grated onion or finely chopped. All the onion in there, and then we're just going to just keep moving it around, stirring it till it becomes a little bit more, well, kind of translucent, like so. Shouldn't take too long guys, just take like a minute, 2 minutes. And then once that's done, we're just going to remove this from the heat, okay? And then I want you to get a glass bowl ready, so mine's just here. I chopped this onion earlier, always makes me tear, so it's just easy if I chop it before I record it. It doesn't affect some people. I think I mentioned in another video before, I think some people put onions in fridges, and then whether it's a myth or something, it stops you from tearing when you cut it. Not sure. Okay, I just need to get another bowl for my onion. Okay, so onion's translucent. I'm just going to take it out, take it off the heat. Just like so. Wonderful. Right, next one. So, glass bowl. Here we go. So I want you to add 3 cubed bread slices. Now, it can be any bread, okay? Doesn't really matter. I won't recommend getting anything kind of seeded, or, you know, we don't want seeds or anything. Just get some plain white bread. I think I cut up some Warburton's toasty or something. I want 3 slices of it cubed, okay? So, in we go. Next is, we're going to add 60 ml of milk. Now I'll put that somewhere, I've already measured out. Here we are, just like so. Okay, so in goes the 60 ml of milk. Now we're just going to, let this soak up. Should take about 2 minutes. And then we're just going to shred it with a fork. Guys, so just soak up for like up to about 2 minutes. Nothing too drastic. If you feel like you've not added enough milk, add a little bit more milk. Your bread might be a different size to mine, so don't worry too much about it. My first time doing this recipe, so it could go really well, could go bad. We'll see. But have faith. Tell you what I might do. I'll add just a splash, so just a splash of milk. Okay, so you could say 70 ml, guys. I had 60 ml, and I just literally splashed a little bit more milk again, so you could say 70 if you wanted to. Okay, so just letting that milk soak. Okay, so once all the milk's been soaked up by the bread, I want you to take your fork and just start shredding it, okay? Do whatever you need to do. Mix it, stab it, press it, mash it, whatever you want to. Doesn't matter. So I'll try and hold this up to the camera so you can see. Just looks a bit of a mess, really. It's fine. Okay, we're just going to shred it. It turns into like a bit of a, you want it like a bit runny, not like as firm as dough, for instance. So it's just like a little bit sludgier, but not quite liquid, if you know what I mean. Fantastic. Remember, if I didn't mention, guys, remember we're not using crusts, okay? Crusts, no good. Cut the crusts off. I can't believe I'm saying this. Cut the crusts off. I've never cut crusts off in my life. Okay. The same as some people don't eat the heel of the bread. The heel, I mean like the crust, the ends. I say heel. Always said heel. Heel of the bread. So yeah, we just got basically some shredded bread here. Bit thick, bit mushy. That's wonderful. Okay, so we're all soaked up. Okay, so next is we're going to add, didn't have my eggs ready, so we're going to add that onion, which we fried in butter, and we've got it to like a translucent kind of colour. So we're going to add in the onion, all that onion, guys. Don't miss any of it. Get it all in. And then we're going to add 1 egg, guys. Lovely. Don't drop any eggshell in like I just did. I don't even know how I did that. drop 3 little pieces. There we go. All right. Didn't take too long. Okay, so just going to mix all this together. Quick mix, nothing crazy. Right, next bit. So I've weighed these out. Some people say quarters, some people say grams. I've already weighed my meats out just because I did it early on the scales, save a bit of time. So add 339 grams of beef mince. Okay, so you could say three quarters of a pound. So in goes the beef mince. Wonderful. And then the next one is add 226 grams of pork mince, or you could say half a pound of pork mince. That's it. Don't miss any, get it all in. Right, and now, so that's that in. Where have they put my spoon? Oh, so I'll just push this one out. So, everything's in, mince is in. Right, let's get the seasonings in. So, 1 teaspoon of salt. Like so. Next is 1 tablespoon of pepper. So, 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I have this in my cookies. Love it, love it. Now, your choice. I want a bit of spice to mine, so you can have. So next one is a teaspoon of. How do you pronounce it? Parmesan pods. Okay, but you want the powder. So I've decided to use cayenne pepper instead because I want a bit of a spice with mine. So, teaspoon of that, guys. Okay, so now we're going to mix all this together. This is where your hand's going to get all mucky, all dirty. Just taste some pepper. Okay, so make sure your hands are nice and washed and clean. So I'm going to give mine a quick wash now. Right, now all the mixture's in there, guys. We're just going to get our hands stuck in, mix it all together as best we can. Here we go. Still here, guys. So, we've got our meatball mixture. I spent about 5 minutes on it. Just kneading it, not like dough, just as much as I can. Try to mix all the ingredients around, going all in my nails and whatever, but it's all good fun. So the next thing now is form some meatballs. So what size are usually Swedish meatballs? Are they big massive ones, sort of like those ball things you give to the birds, or the little tiny ones? I think I'm going to go for something like an inch and a half size, width, length kind of thing. So dead simple, guys, but just something like that. So how many do you want to make? How many's in your family? If I don't use all this, I'll just freeze the mince back in the freezer and pull it out another day. So yeah, meatballs, guys. Just roll into little meatballs, like so. You can try and aim for like 20 or 30. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to try and use as much of this mixture as possible. Well, remember, so the next step will be us browning the meatballs, okay? So you might want to consider, you know, what size the balls are, because, you know, obviously if you've got a big ball of mince, it's going to take a while to cook in the oven, isn't it? So nice and small, guys, sort of that size. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've made 30 of those meatballs. Tried to get the size in as best as possible. As you can see, some are just a tiny bit bigger than the rest of them. Okay, so we have our meatballs ready. Now I want you to heat your pan back up, okay? And 3 tablespoons of butter in going. I'm going to melt that, just like so. Okay, so obviously once your butter has melted, okay, I want you to tip in your meatballs. Well, it depends how big your pan is. You know, is your pan big enough? I could have done with a bigger pan, just that this pan's quite a new pan, and you know, I like it. I don't want nothing sticking, that's what I'm trying to say to you. So this is the pan I'm using. It's quite a deep one. It's almost like a mini wok kind of thing. But yes, how many meatballs are you doing today? You know, do you want to freeze them? Freeze them, that's fine. But I made 30 balls out of that mixture. So once my butter's melted, I'm going to start browning my meatballs. You know, 10 at a time, wherever you want to. That's it. Then we'll go from there after. Turn the heat down one. Wonderful. Okay, so we can start putting our meatballs in now. Like so. You know, working batches. How many you want to, like I said, how many you want to do today? I managed to get 30. I might do all 30. I might save the other half, you know, for another day. Otherwise, it's meatballs for the rest of the week. Okay, so we're just going to let them cook slightly, you know, 2 minutes here and there. Turn them over. Want to get like a nice brown colour, like so. See this one here, look. Just like that. Already I can smell the nutmeg, the fresh, the ground nutmeg we put in. It smells, it's dead nice, dead strong. Got a mixture of the onion. You know, it smells incredible. Just like so. Okay, so I'm just gonna brown off all these meatballs, just like so. And then we'll go from there, guys. Okay guys, so yeah, I'm spending about, I'd say about 10 minutes on just browning the meatballs. You know, beef not so much, but you know, we are dealing with pork as well. We've got to make sure it's fully cooked. We don't want any food poisoning or anything. I was a little sceptical about it because I was like, oh, you know, it's going to be a nightmare to cook these up. But if you notice, when this, even though the balls are meant to be round, they get like a square flatness to them. It just makes it a bit, you know, look, a bit easier to cook, and then you can, you know, they're just a bit more of a manoeuvre inside the pan. But yeah, as you can see, look, I've got some ones that I've already done in here. You know, I've just kept mine in foil just to keep a bit of warmth left in. I'm going to cook mine, well, in the next half an hour, hopefully. Once I've done the sauce. So yeah, I'm just going to finish off browning this second batch of meatballs, guys. Probably another 5 minutes looking. Just try to be careful, pay a lot of attention to them, because one of my meatballs, you know, I was just throwing it about a bit, and then obviously it was just a pile of mash in the end. We don't want that. Pay attention to the heat as well. You don't want, no point being like super hot. Okay, and I guess another good way of, you know, checking to see if your meatballs are thoroughly cooked inside would be, you know, the same tip when we're doing chicken. It was so we would take the biggest piece of chicken, but today we're going to take the biggest meatball. So as you can see in here, well, somewhere in there, I've got the biggest meatball. Guess it had a benefit doing different sizes. And obviously just, you know, just breaking the half, just see it's fully cooked on the inside. You know, the juices have gone clear kind of thing. Because yeah, like I said, we are using pork. So yeah, look for your biggest meatball, guys, and then obviously just poke on the inside, stab it, sacrifice it. There's plenty more, don't worry about it, but it's worth it so we don't get any food poisoning. Okay, so like I said, I'll finish with another 5 minutes doing this, and then I'm going to clean this pan out and then going to start to make my sauce straight after, guys. Okay guys, so here we are, the final step. So all my meatballs are cooked, just like so, you can just see them. Just sitting there ready to be added to the sauce. Okay, so pan's nice and clean. I'm then going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so if you want to weigh that individually, you're looking at about 45 grams. So satisfying watching the butter melt. Just wait for this to melt, guys, shouldn't be too long. Okay, so once this butter starts to bubble, guys, as you can see you see that? There you go, yeah. So it's just starting to bubble, right? I want you to add in 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay, so I've already weighed mine out. So just plain flour, guys, just like so. I've already weighed mine out, 45 gram roughly. Okay, so all in. Okay, he's going to whisk that up. Obviously, as you can see, I've not got a whisk. I'm just using my well, little spatula thing. So we're looking for a nice runny kind of texture. The colour should be like, you know, like a creamy coffee kind of colour. I'd say mine's a little bit more on the yellow side, but we're going to add some more ingredients and see how we get on. Like I said, it's my first time doing this dish, so you know, it can only, it should taste good. So yeah, you guys would have a risk right now. I'm using a little spatula. Couldn't find any whisks in supermarkets. Tried about 2-3 months ago and went to 2 supermarkets, couldn't find a whisk. So I was like, you know what? Who needs a whisk? Okay, so now we're going to add in our 2 cups of beef stock. So that's roughly about 473 ml. Mine's at the ready just here. So boiling water, add your beef stock. So I'm going to put half of that in. Just keep turning that round until we get a nice sauce kind of mixture. You say, oh, look at that. Starting to look like rice pudding a bit. Needs more water. There we go. Okay. Obviously, you had a whisk. Be loads better right now. Definitely stop it curdling. Should be fine. So we should have a nice creamy, thick, whitish creamy coffee kind of colour. Consistency of sauce. Oh, it smells good. Smells incredible. Okay. You must remember to get a whisk again. So just giving that a really good stir. Okay, the more effort you're going to put into this, the better it's going to be, it's going to taste. Try not to get it everywhere like I am. You know, whisk for like, you know, for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, like so. Wonderful. That is looking great. Was a little bit short. If you wanted to, like, you know, if you notice, I just went with the flour, just threw it all in. If you want to sort of sprinkle, whisk a bit, sprinkle a bit more, whisk a bit more. You know, when you're creating a sauce, you don't sort of like throw in all the ingredients at once like I did you? That's good. That's good enough. Okay, so now that's done, we're going to remove it from the heat. On and off the heat. Whoa, whoa, on and off the heat. Yeah, so just leave the heat off for a sec. Right, and now we're going to add our 1/4 of a cup of sour cream. So sour cream, it's all weighed out here. It's actually in a shot glass, not that I drink. But we're going in. So just put it about here so you guys can see. Just move the cameras for you. There we go. So cream's going in. Sour cream, guys. Make sure it's extra thick as well. I think I need a little teaspoon. Where are the teaspoons? Just to get to the bottom of it. There we go. Sour cream's in. Okay, then we give this a stir. Obviously, you guys would have a whisk. I'm sort of freestyle a little bit today, winging it. It should turn out good still. So we're off the heat, guys. Cream's gone in. Still stirring. Okay, so now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of, well, it's usually the Swedish lingonberry sauce. It's actually quite hard to get hold of sometimes. I went to a few supermarkets, couldn't find it. So I'm using some Tesco red currant jelly, so something similar. Okay, and now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of this jelly. So, do something like that. Stir that in. So we go back on the heat, guys. Yours shall look loads better than mine, because I'm assuming you'd have the right utensils for a start. It's my first time actually doing this kind of dish. So at the minute the jelly's in and it's a little bit lumpy at the minute, so I've turned the heat up and I'm just mixing it as best as I can. Let's have a smell of it though. Certainly smells different. Okay, so now I'm just going to season with a bit of salt. So a pinch of salt, like that. Salt's in. Bit of pepper. Take the lid off, Michael. Go. Too much. Stir it all in. And then, next stage, the next step, guys, is add in your meatballs back to the sauce. So I would say this sauce is about ready. So let's have a little taste. Never tried sauce like this before, so oh yeah, so many different flavours. It's got a bit of a tang to it, tiny bit of a tang, and obviously it's thick, it's creamy. I'll tell you what, these meatballs should be dead nice inside it. Right, so going in, mate. Meatballs are going in, guys. Here we go. Okay, so meatballs are returned to the pan. We can cook it. Say you could cook them on low heat to warm up the meatballs. So obviously, once this is done, you know, serve this with some kind of like mashed potato. You could sprinkle some like fresh chives on top. I'll get a photo. I'll get a photo for you guys at the end, and you can see the finishing recipe. But yeah, well, that's tea time sorted, isn't it? So the last step of the Swedish meatball recipe. So I've got. I'll do it all over in front of you. So I've got my meatballs here. I'll just turn the camera down so you guys can see. Okay, so Swedish meatballs here, as you can tell. I've served mine with mashed potato, as you can see. So, mashed potato at the ready. Just put some meatballs on here. Look at that. Okay. You know, if you want 1 or 2 or 5, that's fine. Got some extra sauce on mine as well, I think. Tell you what, and let's put 1 on the top, just for the photo. There we go, just for the photo. Now, so obviously, an addition if you want to, some fresh chives. So I've got some fresh chives in front of me. So you know, nice and small. Looks and it just smells amazing. And that's the Swedish meatballs, guys. Very simple to do. Hope you enjoy it. Please send some photos in so we can see your finishing recipes. I'm sure yours are going to be as good as mine. I'll take a little photo at the end so you guys can see it.